going to be showing you how to use TextMesh Pro in Unity. So that will make your horrible looking text, for example, this, look how blurry it is, simply horrible, into a much cleaner, crisper design. Anyways, the first thing that you're going to want to do is delete all your legacy text. In case you're wondering, and you don't know, TextMesh Pro is very simply a better text engine than Unity's legacy one. And as you can see, for this example, I have made a very basic clicker game that if I run the game, you can see that when I click this button, the score goes up, and that's basically all that's happening. Anyways, first thing that you're going to want to do is delete all your old text. Delete all your old legacy stuff. For example, my score text, that's legacy, and then my click me button and text, that's all legacy text. So I'm going to delete all of this, and now I'm going to make it much better. And the way that I'm going to do this is by right-clicking on my canvas, and then for every one of my old text, I'm going to replace that with UI TextMesh Pro. For example, I have one called Score Text, and TextMesh Pro will prompt you to import TextMesh Pro. Otherwise, this will not work. Either way, wait for it to do that, and rename this. And in my case, I'm going to rename this to Score Text. Anyways. And I'm going to set this text to be score, and then hashtag semicolon space 0, and I'm going to move this up here so I can see it pretty nicely. And I'm going to increase the font size, etc. You can do all of this with the old stuff, and then I'm going to set the color to black. Move this here. And then you'll see some other stuff that you can not do with the old version. For example, bolding. If you want to make it look better via bolding, then you can do that. If you want to make it look italic, I believe that's the word. And if you want to make it, I don't know, have an underscore. If you want to make it have a cross, make it lowercase, etc. I'm going to disable all of this. And what you can do is you can set its alignment mode. Now, as you can see, this is at the top right. That's because this is the top, and then this is the right. And for example, I can change. This is the top I meant, and this is the right. So, for example, I can change it where it is in proportion to the actual object, and I can also make it it's slightly above. This is called cap line. This is called middle line, where it's just slightly above the middle. And this is this space line, middle line and cap line. In my case, I am going to have none of it, and I'm just going to put middle. And here there's justified, which I honestly do not know exactly what it does. Anyways, I think it's like stretch mode. But anyways, you can make it fill up the entirety. Go to the middle. I'm just going to set it to top right. Now then, you can set the wrapping mode to no wrap, normal, etc. Overflow. There's more settings. I'd recommend messing around with them whenever you want. Anyways, next I'm going to recreate my button with the same method. Button, TextMesh Pro. I'm going to call this Click Me. And in the text, I will make it say, click me. This is just typical text. In here, you will see in a click me button, it's pretty much just normal. You can set the color tint when it's pressed, sprite swap, or animation. I'm personally just going to keep it at color tint. And if you press this, I believe you can visualize. Anyways, the main thing is on-click method. In my game manager, I have a script called Game Manager. And in case you're wondering, I believe, no, I'm wrong apparently. Sorry, something happened in the update. Anyways, point is, I'm gonna put my ad score, and it should work exactly like normal if I just fill in the field with my score text. But no, sorry, there's a difference. What I need to do is you need to, in your script, which I already have open, is replace any of your private text, public text, whatever, and you're using. You want to replace this with TM Pro, Text Mesh Pro, and then you're going to change this text to a Text Mesh Pro. Sorry, my writing is a bit bad. Mesh Pro UGUI. And then that's basically the Text Mesh Pro equivalent of text. And that's really all you need to do. And it should work in theory now. Sure. Anyways, so now what I'm going to do is take score text, drag it in, and everything should, in theory, work the same. But if you look at the text carefully, it's way nicer. It's very simple. And it also has more settings, which is just very convenient. Yeah, it works the exact same, but if I go into my scene, you really cannot see much blurriness. Yeah, there's absolutely zero blurriness. And that just looks much nicer. Anyways, I can increase the score, but this is not a short, so I'm going to show you one more thing. So I've gotten a few fonts here from, obviously, Google Fonts, which has tons, and feel free to go there. The link is going to be in the description, but in case you want to see here, it's just https://fonts.google.com. Anyways, I have imported a few fonts here. However, you cannot do what you used to and just drag them in to this field. That will not work. Try. What you need to do instead is, I'm going to just quickly duplicate this. So, copy. Just copy Command-C, Command-V, or I believe. Does that work? Yeah, seems like this. Excuse the lag. And I'm going to change this to the Text Mesh Pro, TM Pro. And then in here, I have this BBH sans Haggerty, and then I am going to do create Text Mesh Pro font acid, and then and then I believe it might, yeah, it was SDF. I might be mistaken. Yeah, SDF. And then basically what you can do is by right-clicking on all of those assets, you can just make those. For example, if I want this to be a BBH sans regular, then I can do that. Now, you can also do this with multiples, right? For example, if I do this, and then I'm first gotta go delete this one, and then here I can go create Text Mesh Pro, font acid, SDF, and then after a little while lag, it should create every single SDF, which you can obviously put in. And now I can very simply delete all of these. And as you can see, if I want this text to be this, whatever the hell these are, then I can make it be that. And I'm going to do the same to Lato, create Text Mesh Pro font acid SDF, and then delete these. Go back to thing to show you, and then, yeah, they're all pretty similar. Anyways, you can do the same to every one of these. Point is, and I'm just gonna quickly do this to the last two, Montserrat and Roboto, which is my personal favorite. So, anyways, delete. Text. Montserrat, they're pretty similar. Anyways, as you can see, I have loads of Roboto. So this might take a little while. Text Mesh Pro, Fantastic SCF, which you can do with Command Shift or Control Shift if you're on Windows. F12, which shall also create them. And now I can delete these because I have no more need for this. And then, anyways, I'm gonna bold it because I like the look of that, and I'm gonna do the same Roboto, condense, and bold, and non-italic. Anyways, that's it for today, and please, if you can, like, subscribe, and comment. That will make YouTube push this video in the algorithm, and please subscribe. Anyways, hope you had fun, hope you liked that, and bye.